never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas Liberty. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks for clicking over for a little while from the King, Rush Limbaugh, because like I've said before, whatever Rush is talking about, I can usually address. When it comes to Texas news and information, when it comes to political commentary from a liberty perspective on Texas, nah, man, Rush can't match. Wow. You're not going to get it like you're going to get it right here, Saints and Patriots. Yes, I do have on my Astros gear today. It was unavoidable after the All-Star game last night. I did make a couple of tweets last night about the ASG. Astros had to show them who's boss. That was a beautiful thing. Back-to-back jacks, back-to-back H-bombs by Bregman, All-Star Game MVP, and by Springer, World Series MVP. Altuve, American League MVP, did his thing. So, I'm all geared up with Houston gear. I got my Texans jersey on, basically for no other reason than it's clean and I like to wear it. And of course, I've got my Astros lid on for the obvious. Today's program, crazy. Stacked like a double cheeseburger. First time on the program today, gun rights advocate Rachel Malone. Raging Elephants Radio contributor, president of the Texas Nationalist Movement, Daniel Miller. And Raging Elephants Radio contributor, my fellow ultra-conservative soul brother, Eugene Ralph. On yesterday's program, Gregory Parker really rocked my world, if I have to say. His article is posted, his op-ed is posted at RagingElePhantsRadio.com, and I would encourage everyone to take the time to read it. Now, I mean, it's 2,100 words, something you would probably see more like in the Weekly Standard, the National Review. It's extremely intense. But I would say take the time, check it out, and see what's going on. See what Gregory Parker has to say. Very in-depth, very real, very profound. Something he was talking about that carries over into all sections of life and really is on the insurgency. It's on the rise. I just said the insurgency. The ascendancy. It is an insurgency. Socialism. Straight up communism. That little fluffy thing that won up in Brooklyn in the Democratic primary. It is on the ascendancy. Socialism. Ronald Reagan, back in the 60s, He warned of it. He said it's coming. It's going to be part of the Democratic Party. And it is. It's not even socialism, and it's straight up communism, some of the things that they are advocating. Now, their entire platform can be considered socialism, this idea that the collective is better than the individual. That the collective has a responsibility versus the individual having the responsibility. The collective has liberties versus the individual having liberty. And so, as a result, what happens? You get collectivism in everything. And the point that Gregory Parker was making was that it's actually in this argument for gun control that collective protection, socialistic protection, will get the job done. That is the ideal, that is perfection, that is the panacea, when in fact, from all indications, it's a complete and utter failure. Your first line of defense is yourself. Relying on the collective could get you killed. What Gregory Parker was saying is that the police force is collective security. The military is collective security. And time again, collective security fails, and the end result is a mass shooting, a terrorist attack, a tragedy of a home break-in that turns into a robbery homicide, a kidnapping. Your first line of defense is yourself. Merely walking down the street and someone decides they're going to mug you. The police aren't around. If the collective was around, more than likely, the criminal is not going to perpetrate the crime. More than likely, you're going to walk home safe if the collective protection is there to individually protect you. More than likely, it's not going to happen. Unless you're some sort of celebrity, unless you are, I don't know, a college head football coach that gets more security than our children do at the end of a football game, you're probably not going to have the collective security there to protect you as an individual. Walk into a football stadium. Collective security is supposed to protect you. However, the potential of failure is there. More people will be there than the collective security can protect. Just like the collective security can't be everywhere and can't take care of everything on the issue of security, the collective cannot succeed in the fiscal, the financial, the governmental. It fails. Let me put it to you this way. If the collective failed in the book of Acts, when the church began, at its inception, when it was tried, it's not going to work anywhere else. Whenever you point to, whenever you have a conversation with a leftist, and you ask them, just give me one case study where socialism, collectivism, communism, the collective in the optimum, where has it worked? Just please, just give me a case study of where it has worked. Where there is income equality, theoretically. Has poverty been erased? I don't think so. I remember the pictures of the old Soviet Union. Soviet women not looking so sexy, sitting around empty bread shops, smoking their strong, I guess, Eastern European cigarettes. The collective doesn't work. Socialism doesn't work.
Green Air technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
How's it going, JR fans? Nick Libretti here, and today we're smoking the Oliva Cane Daytona. Another home run from the Oliva Company. Guys, this is the Cane Daytona. Medium to full body Nicaraguan smoke, Habano wrapper on it, burns really, really nice. Hints of coffee, really, really creamy, flavorful smoke. This thing changes flavors on me 4 or 5 times throughout the cigar. It's excellent. 3 words I would use to describe this thing: impeccable, complex, and out of this world. That's more than 3 words. Stop counting. We have 3 sizes, everything from a 46 to a 60 ring gauge. Get them right now at jrcigars.com.
Visit JR Cigars through the RER Marketplace.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
My name is Dr. Annalisa Bailing. I'm a naturopathic physician in Michigan. I have 2 practices, one in Flint area, Swartz Creek, and the other one in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So kind of spans the state from one area to the other. I think I first met you and Vital Choice maybe 6 years ago at one of the AANP conferences, the naturopathic conferences, and fell in love with the quality, the service staff is amazing, and just the ability to have products shipped directly to my office and be able to sell products to my patients and know that they're the best quality on the market. My patients love the canned salmon, and the tuna it's hard to keep in stock sometimes because they just love the quality. And they're willing to pay a little bit more to know that it's the better quality.
Visit Vital Choice Wild Seafood and Organics through the RER Marketplace.
The happiest happy hour on the H-Town West Side. Introducing the Texas Tea Tavern. Texas Tea. The longest happy hour. 12 noon to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. $3.75 domestic drafts. $8 domestic pitchers. $4 wells. $5 grapies for the ladies. Texas Tea. Texas Tea is the West Side after-work chill-out place. They have this massive door that opens up to a relaxed lawn and patio. Day or night, this time of year, it's marvelous for sipping in convo. Texas Tea. Video poker tournaments all through the week. Tuesday, Texas Trivia. Wednesday, bring your axe. It's open jam night. Live music every Saturday night on the huge stage. Karaoke Sunday nights. Texas Tea. Mudbugs could be boiling in the outdoor kitchen. If you're hungry, the classy food cart on the newly paved parking lot serves $3 tacos that are big as your head. Texas Tea. A safe place for ladies to venture solo. Open every night until 2 a.m. Texas Tea. Easy to find. 1535 Brickmore, a stone's throw from City Center. You may see me there. Get more info, click the ad on Raging Elephant RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Attention, business owners. The marketing plan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com is geo-targeted for Texas. From El Paso to Orange, Amarillo to Brownsville, the state of Texas is going to know about us, and they should know about you. Together, we'll have Texas covered like a blanket. When you advertise with us, you immediately get the benefits of statewide exposure. We are the way to advertise your company throughout the state of Texas and grow your customer base economically. No matter the size of your business, we have a package for you, starting at just $100 a month. Get started by clicking the advertise button on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
You're enjoying Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
In just a few minutes on today's program, making her Raging Elephants Radio debut, it's going to be Rachel Malone, gun rights advocate here in the Lone Star State. I think she heads up the chapter of Gun Owners of America, the Texas chapter of Gun Owners of America now. I think that's correct. Daniel Miller's going to be here, and Eugene Ralph also. The hot topic in Texas is Governor Greg Abbott and these red flag laws in the aftermath of the Santa Fe High School mass shooting, that tragedy. You do know that the kids from Parkland who tried to politically organize, or did politically organize, with a lot of help, a lot of money from the left, from Hollywood, from the pro-gun control lobby, they rejected one of those rallies down in Santa Fe. Y'all did know about that, right? Well, they did. They said, Parkland kids, no thanks. And now Greg Abbott seems to have once again lurched to the left on these red flag laws. Now, the biggest voting bloc in the Lone Star State, that would be the Republican base, has definitively said through the 2018 convention and in previous platforms of the party, the state party, that they want constitutional carry. When it comes to the Second Amendment, where it says Congress shall make no law, they believe that. And so do I. And many of you that are listening right now, so do you. But on many of these issues, for whatever reason, Governor Abbott seems to lurch to the left on a lot of it. I mean, he shocked us all back in the 2015 legislative session when he listed as an emergency item, his first emergency item, some sort of socialistic collective, well, let's call it Hillary's Universal Pre-K here in Texas. We'd never heard of this before. What are you talking about? You didn't campaign on this, because if you had campaigned on this, you probably would have lost, even in the primary. And speaking of primaries, remember all the problems that we're having right now with Governor Greg Abbott. I mean, he's making the hair on the back of our necks stand up right now. We have our necks bowed right now, our backs bowed. Our fists are sort of rolled up right now, because balled up right now, because we're angry at the stuff that he's doing. Where did this come from? Why would you make these lurches to the left? You didn't campaign on this stuff. And he never really has had stiff primary opposition. And we're going to whine and we're going to complain about the things that he does, but he's going to get a free ride back into the governor's mansion as long as he wants, because there are no term limits when it comes to the executive. Well, until someone is able to strongly fight this guy in the primary, strongly challenge him with name ID and with money. Until then, he's going to feel invincible, and he's going to do whatever he thinks is best. And he's going to make these lurches to the left. I mean, let's go back to 2015. His address before the Texas Senate and the Texas House on his emergency items, where he shocked us all with his first emergency item, Governor Greg Abbott.
To improve our schools, we must begin by building a strong foundation from the very beginning. Our goal should be to ensure that all students in Texas are performing at grade level in reading and math by the time they finish the 3rd grade. To begin that process, my budget provides additional funding for schools that adopt high-quality pre-K programs in the state of Texas. My plan also provides pre-K through 3rd grade teachers with world-class literacy and math teacher training programs. We must improve early education. That's why I am declaring early education as my first emergency item as governor of Texas.
Oh, the Democrats in there in the education lobby absolutely loved that. I mean, where did that come from? He didn't campaign on that. He didn't campaign on it. And he used all of his political capital to get that pushed through. All of his political capital in his first legislative session as governor to get that through. I mean, where did these standards come from? It's precisely what Alice Linehan has been warning us about. This idea of a Soviet model education system being more deeply rooted nationally and here in Texas. And their ad that is saying, yeah, we're going to bring this stuff in here, and everybody's clapping like trained seals. Of course, the leftist indoctrination education lobby in there, they were liking that, standing to their feet. His 4th emergency item was supposed to be border security. What I'm talking about here is that why should we be surprised that we've got heartburn about Greg Abbott? Why should we be surprised that we have heartburn about Greg Abbott? He's never been truly challenged. He thinks he's invincible. He can do whatever he wants. He literally, as AG, was never challenged in a primary. In the 2014 race, he had tepid. I mean, it was no competition. It was no challenge whatsoever in 2014. He has never, ever really had any competition for office. Not even on the Democratic side in the general election. Who's going to compete with $50 million? This is Greg Abbott on border security. What was he going to do with it?
Our first and foremost obligation is to protect our citizens' safety.
Now wait a minute. If it's your first obligation, first and foremost obligation is what Greg Abbott just said. It's our first and foremost obligation. Then why was your first emergency item pre-K? Why was it bringing in more centralized control, globalist indoctrination curriculum into Texas, get into preschool, pre-K to 3rd grade? Oh, this new digital learning is going to come in here and our children are going to be ready, set, go for the global economy. They won't know how to do math. They will not know history. They will be completely socialized in a global ideology, a global image. But it's your first and foremost obligation is going to be border security. Then why was your first emergency item Hillary style, Bernie Sanders style, Lyndon style, Soviet model education implementation? Why? Why is your 4th emergency item border security? Come on, Greg. Come on, Gregory. Please tell me.
Our first and foremost obligation is to protect our citizens' safety. We cannot be naive to the threat posed by drug cartels, transnational gangs, and human smuggling and trafficking operations. The first step in securing our border is enforcing the rule of law. That's why I have a comprehensive border security plan. My plan...
As soon as they say the word comprehensive, you know it is a a steaming pile of horse excrement. As soon as you hear, I have a comprehensive, is the word comprehensive, has it been focus group tested? Is this why everybody says comprehensive? He has a comprehensive border security. It's their first and foremost obligation. The safety of Texans, the protection of Texans, the collective security that Gregory Parker speaks about in his op-ed posted at Raging Elephants Radio. 2,100 words calling out the idea of collective security. Here's Greg Abbott right here, right now. I have a collective security plan for the border because we're supposed to be protecting Texans. That's what he says.
More than doubles the spending on securing the border. It adds 500 new state troopers, more Texas Rangers who can focus on corruption, more funding for local law enforcement. This legislation is essential, which is why I'm declaring border security funding as my fourth emergency item.
Why is it number 4? Why is it number 4? If it's first and foremost, then why is it number 4? And we know what the facts are. He hasn't done diddly squat when it comes to border security. And the problem is Texans who say it's their number 1 issue, they're being bamboozled by Gregory Abbott, that is, on this idea, border security, blah, blah, blah. They only see him in the campaign trail. They have no idea what's going on inside the Pink Dome, what's going on inside the governor's mansion. They don't keep up with Texas news and information. They need to be listening to Raging Elephants Radio. Let me take you back to the 2014 campaign. Abbott campaigned on border security.
Together we can secure our border, keeping Texans safe from drug cartels and gangs that are importing crime to our state.
Barack Obama won't secure the border, but Greg Abbott will. He'll double the funding for the Department of Public Safety and hire 500 more state troopers for border security.
I will never stop fighting, and that's why I'm asking you to elect me as your next governor.
We've got 2 more legislative sessions with this guy. Let me remind you, I was hammering Donald Trump for the last 2 weeks about the border invasion. I've been doing it for the last 2 weeks. I know some of you guys haven't been liking it because I've been hammering. You got Donald Trump and you're a Trumpkin. I get it. But when you've had 304,000 approximately illegal invaders coming into the state, and you campaign on border security like Donald Trump did and is still doing, no, you don't get a free pass. 354,000 into Texas, not into the United States, just Texas. And Greg Abbott has campaigned on it. Dan Patrick has campaigned on it. And if we're going to be intellectually honest, if we're going to have some integrity as liberty-driven Texans, then we don't let them slide. We've got to find somebody, some people to replace those people. They're not doing what they're promised, and we're being invaded.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these 3 comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Mighty Leaf is proud and excited to present our new artisan-crafted iced teas for all-day, all-season refreshment. Now, Mighty Leaf offers the finest fresh-brewed iced tea on the market. We've specially crafted these iced teas for full-leaf, full-bodied, thirst-quenching refreshment. Stitched into mightily larger versions of our famous tea pouches, these new blends of whole-leaf teas, herbs, fruits, and spices brew up pitchers full of delicious, aromatic Mighty Leaf iced tea. Making a batch is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Pour a 1/4 gallon of hot water into a heat-safe pitcher and steep the pouch. 2. After the brew time on the tag has elapsed, remove the pouch for the perfect brew. And 3. Add enough ice to bring the mixture up to a 1/2 gallon. Each box makes 2 gallons of tea, and when you're done, being environmentally friendly, there are no wasteful bottles, just our biodegradable and recyclable packaging materials. Serve chilled with family and friends and savor the Mighty Leaf experience on ice. Be sure to enjoy all 4 varieties: Organic Black, Ginger Peach, Calypso Mango, and Sunburst Green Tea. Mighty Leaf Tea. Drink in the moment.
Visit Mighty Leaf Tea through the RER Marketplace.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Get to know Texas politics. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
So ever since the Santa Fe tragedy, this idea of gun control, how to respond, campus safety has sort of moved to the front of the line when it comes to statewide conversation. I kind of knew things were going to go seriously haywire, seriously to the left, when I saw the footage of this big powwow led by Greg Abbott and Joe Strauss was at the table. I'm like, oh, okay, this is not going to go well. This isn't going to go well at all. It was a pleasure having Gregory Parker on yesterday. Once again, I invite you to go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com and take a look at his article. The whole concept of collective security. It's just as bad as, I don't know, collective fiscal policy. The collective is just not good. Let's continue to emphasize the individual, the basis of liberty, life, liberty, and prosperity, and this is what we espouse to here in Texas. Okay, Rachel Malone is one tough chick. She really is. I mean, you ought to see she's just, I want to go shooting firearms with Rachel because I'm pretty sure I will learn something. She looks like she ought to be like a ranger or something because on her Facebook pictures. I don't think Rachel's ever been on Raging Elephants Radio before. Rachel, are you there?
I sure am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear. Welcome to Raging Elephants Radio. And are you the Texas chapter leader of, I think it's Gun Owners of America, I think?
Yes, I am the Texas director of Gun Owners of America.
Fantastic. And how long have you done it? This is just a recent development, isn't it?
It is, just in the past couple of weeks, and I could not be more excited.
well, you're a lady that definitely knows her firearms based on some of the photographs that I saw. I'm going to share some of those. I've got them on our screen at facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio on our video stream. The photographs with you with some of your self-defense instruments. They're beautiful.
Nice. Thank you. Also, I would love to go shooting with you sometime, and we should do that.
I want to learn from you. Obviously, you are well trained. I'm a little bit intimidated with when I look at the targets and I look at the headshots from 25 yards. That's a little bit intimidating. You know, I do suffer from toxic masculinity, and I could be easily embarrassed by the level of skill that you display, because it looks pretty awesome, Rachel.
Well, thank you. It's nothing that can't be taught or learned.
All right, Rachel. So after the Santa Fe tragedy, and we pretty much knew, as Gregory Parker has been writing about, it was a failure of collective security. Those that we've entrusted to protect us, law enforcement, through taxation, through the power invested in government. When seconds count, they're minutes away. And in the case of Maryland, when they're only 90 seconds away, 4 or 5 can still end up losing their lives, because our first line of defense is ourselves. So after the Santa Fe tragedy, we knew that this conversation or this argument on what is the best way to protect children when they're away from their homes, when they're away from their parents, and they're in the care of the collective, the government, was all of a sudden going to become a hot, heated topic. Even more so than the tragedy of the church shooting here in Texas. And it did. And so the political pressure began to fall upon the Pink Dome and fall upon the governor's mansion. And things began to move in a direction that many of us are not happy with. When all this began to develop, Rachel, I want you to please express to us your initial reaction, what you anticipated, and just your overall observation on how everything unfolded in the immediate aftermath of Santa Fe.
Right. Well, I don't think it necessarily started with Santa Fe. I mean, it's been a year with tragedies. There was Parkland, there's Santa Fe, there have been a few others, and I think the collective response that we've been hearing, like you mentioned, is, you know, we've been talking about things, but we really need to take action and do something to ensure the safety of our children. And I just want to proclaim loud and clear, you know what? I've actually been saying for a while that I would like us to do something that would help towards school security. And the thing that I see as being the most effective and efficient, beneficial way is to eliminate the government prohibitions on law-abiding citizens, everyday people, being able to carry their guns in places like schools, because we've seen those types of facilities that are declared by the government to be gun-free zones, those have become the targets. So I would agree, yes, let's do something, but the solution I would like to see is let's reduce and eliminate those barriers to responsible citizens who want to be able to have the tools to defend themselves and those in their care.
We're talking with Rachel Malone, Gun Owners of America, and a political activist. Can't say for a while because, well, she's still very youthful. But the actions that were taken by the governor and others after the aftermath of Santa Fe, very much predictable, don't you think? Not surprising, but predictable?
Well, yes, and across the country we've seen a resurgence of people talking about gun control laws with renewed fervor that, you know, we hadn't frankly seen in a while. Here in Texas, we have what I think is an undeserved reputation as a very gun-friendly state. In many ways we are. In many ways, let's just be honest, our gun laws are definitely not where they should be. But even here in Texas, the conversation, the previous legislative sessions has typically been on how can we move forward. You know, we've been able to talk about, you know, the things we want to do moving forward, even if they're blocked. Now I've been frankly alarmed that we're seeing so much of a push toward gun control measures. We need to take this threat very seriously. We need to be on the alert and not let ourselves go backwards, but keep pushing for the firearms freedoms that our citizens deserve, that we need.
Rachel, the proposal that Governor Abbott is putting out there at the moment, do you consider it? I think it looks dangerous. What do you think? I mean, what's your overall impression of it? And then, if you could, just what do you think are perhaps some of the most egregious offenses when it comes to the ideals of self-defense from the governor's plan?
Sure thing. So I'm hoping that people have at least taken a look through the school safety plan. It's lengthy. It's about 42 pages of proposals. If you're somebody in Texas who is, anyway interested in this, please actually go to the effort to read through some of the proposals, learn what they are, learn what they aren't. The bottom line for me is they come from the premise, essentially, that we can stop evil. And so they come from the premise of let's really try to get guns away from people who might possibly have a risk of being a threat in the future. Let's put watch programs in place. There's actually one called iWatch. You've probably heard about the red flag protection orders, for gun confiscation, and we'll talk about those more in depth. But there's a lot of emphasis on more watching, more tracking, more things that either are registries or very easily lead to gun registries types of things. Raising penalties, doing things involved in searches, in increasing searches and seizures or ability for searches and seizures without probable cause of a crime being committed. So that's the direction that I see a lot of the proposals going. And for that reason, I mean, that alarms me. As I mentioned, I think we can do something, but I would like to see it. I would like to see our response come from the premise that evil will always exist in this world. We're not going to stop it. But we know that a good guy with the gun stops a bad guy with a gun. And so if we can eliminate and reduce the government barriers on everyday citizens who want to be able to carry this defensive tool to protect themselves, hopefully the next time evil rears its ugly head, hopefully we can stop a threat immediately or very quickly. And hopefully there will be a good guy with a gun there who can mitigate the harm and stop the threat and save lives in that way.
We're talking with Rachel Malone, Gun Owners of America. Rachel, I look at things, well, both of us look at things from a liberty movement grassroots perspective. That's where you and I both have operated in our political activism, still do. And I really see a lot of those influencers, just the rank and file in the liberty movement, really troubled by this direction. Now, you look at what happened at the 2018 Texas GOP convention, where once again constitutional carry was listed as a legislative priority. The headbutting, potentially, the tension between Governor Greg Abbott, whose popularity potentially could be dropping because of this, and the grassroots, the plutocracy, if you will, that really runs things under the pink dome, and the desire of the people, the special interest of law enforcement, because in legislative session after legislative session, regardless of what bills have been filed and fortunately have gotten, and I say fortunately, get a hearing, like Representative Stickland's bill on constitutional carry, law enforcement comes out as a special interest to speak against it and gives those that are in supposed seats of servitude an excuse to say, no, we can't have constitutional carry because law enforcement, another special interest, advocates of the collective security, will come and testify and say, no, it's not going to work. It's going to be a Wild West. We're not going to be able to keep control of it. But yet the people, the largest voting bloc in Texas, the GOP base, continues to say through its declaration of a platform, party platform, we want the unfettered right to be able to defend ourselves against a criminal element and against a tyrannical government. How is this going to play out? Can it be rebooted at the ballot box potentially? Rachel Malone.
So thank you. I agree with so much what he said. can it be addressed? So I'm the type of person who believes that all things are possible, and I'm going to go fight for all the things, and I'm going to shoot for the stars, and I'm going to not be ashamed of my goal. I still want to pass constitutional carry, and you know what? I don't fool myself that it's going to be a walk in the park, but you know what? It is 100% possible. We can absolutely do this. We can absolutely elect people who are going to pass it. This is very well within reach. We have to have enough people on board. I'm talking about general grassroots people who believe in this. We have to have enough of them on board who are willing to take some time out. Doesn't have to be full-time, but take some time to make the calls, make the visits, attend the hearings, and really hold the feet to the fire and say, you know, we elected you to uphold our gun rights, and we are going to see this through to the end and make sure you do this. Something that I believe we're going to see even more of, and I've already seen it, is a lot of pressure on people who believe in gun rights, whether it's grassroots or organizations, or definitely on elected officials, on the party. We're going to see a lot of pressure saying, hey, we need you guys to just be reasonable and work with us. For gun control measures, they're not going to call them that, but they're going to try to point out, you know, maybe this could help people who are hurting, or maybe this has a chance to save a life, or maybe, you know, maybe this is a reasonable, and, you know, quit being unreasonable, you need to work with us. And here's my call to anybody who will listen is we don't need to apologize for our stance on guns. We don't need to compromise. We don't need to, you know, certainly I encourage dialogue and civility and being courteous to fellow human citizens, but that does not in any way mean that we need to change our beliefs of what they've always been. The things that we've always said, they are still true. We don't need to back down. Yes, it's a huge tragedy that lives were taken this past year, that kids were killed. The response to that is not to somehow think that by you know, making more laws that we can control criminals, because we know criminals are not going to obey laws. They have murderous intent. Even if we're going to take away a gun, there's still plenty of tools they can use. So we don't need to compromise. We don't need to apologize for our beliefs. We don't need to back down and start asking for less just because there's incredible pressure. I think we keep up the fight, and we push for constitutional carry, and we push for the solution that we know is going to provide more school security and help mitigate this.
Hold on a minute, Rachel. Let's take a short break and come back and talk about some of those solutions that you think would be much more doable and much more effective. Rachel Malone is who I'm talking with right now, Gun Owners of America, Texas chapter leader. Going to take a short break, come back and talk a little bit more with Rachel. Daniel Miller and Ralph still to come. Don't cut the stream. Raging Elephants Radio, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. Your grassroots political organization may benefit from having your own internet radio program. RagingElephantRadio.com can help you achieve that. By having your own RER program, you can personally inform your members and supporters of the top issues in your community and grow the size of your organization. Starting your own RER show isn't as hard as you think or as costly as you think. To get started, go to RagingElephantRadio.com and click the Advertise on RER button for a list of prices. Or you can email us, sales@RagingElephantRadio.com. Have your voice heard. Have your own show on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God himself. It challenges God's promises, his stated purposes, and casts dispersion on his plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Numbers equal power. Spread the word about RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani. Claver, your favorite political flavor, always giving it to you straight, no chaser. Let's finish off the hour with Rachel Malone. I'm enjoying her. I'm enjoying the conversation. I like her spirit. Like your spirit, Rachel. We're going to have you on more often. We may have to make you an RER contributor. I'm going to have to talk you into that, I think. Have you on more and more because you're doing a fabulous job. I'm really excited about having you on. Heard so many fabulous things about you. Know that you are extremely hard worker, fantastic work ethic when it comes to advancing the cause of life, liberty, and prosperity. And finally having you on is makes me very happy. And listen, I want to talk about solutions now. Two things I want to finish off our conversation with today, and I'm going to have you back really, really soon, especially since gun ownership, our rights to defend ourselves really is the hot topic right now. Solutions. I mean, one of the things that I always point out is at the end of a college football game, the head football coach of a college team has more protection than our children do every day in government schools on government property. And it all started when I was a kid and Bear Bryant was still the head coach of Alabama. And after the football game, he was walking across the field to shake the hand of the opposing coach, probably the losing coach. And somebody came along and snatched his houndstooth fedora. And that started the whole thing. No head football coach was stabbed like Monica Seles. Nobody was shot because somebody grabbed his hat. Now it becomes a PR ploy for law enforcement. The state troopers, in their shiny uniforms, boldly representing law enforcement of that state. It's become a PR marketing thing, and they'll have 4 or 5 law enforcement officials surrounding a head football coach of a college team. Unbelievable. And our children walk into schools every day completely, utterly vulnerable on real estate that's declared to be gun-free zones. So now Governor Abbott has proposed something that is sticking into the craw of all of us. And I'm pretty sure that as the Texas chapter leader for Gun Owners of America, you probably have some more effectual solutions than what's being proposed currently. Can I give you the floor, and maybe you'd like to go through those point by point?
Absolutely, I sure would. So I believe the best solution is very simple, and it's to end gun-free zones. And here's why. It comes from the premise, not the premise of, oh, we can stop evil, let's set more laws, let's take away all the guns possible from anybody who might be a threat so that we hopefully take a gun away from the next mass murderer so we have to use a different weapon. So not that premise. It comes from the premise of evil's going to exist. We cannot eradicate it. What we can do is give the good guys the tools to defend themselves against the bad guys. And not give them the tools. I'm not even suggesting that we use taxpayer dollars to force everybody to carry guns, but literally end the government prohibitions on those people who already carry their firearms every day around kids in the grocery store, in the park, wherever else they are. They get their own training. They have their own firearms. They are citizens who have taken responsibility to protect their own lives. In the prohibition on those people carrying their firearms inside of schools. It's a simple proposition. It scares people who used to believe some of the things that I used to believe that are lies. Things like guns randomly go off. Guess what? They don't. They're mechanical tools. It scares people who have heard things reported in the media about how various lies I don't even need to go into. But once you start looking at the facts and realize that it is a good guy with a gun that stops a bad guy with a gun or whatever weapon, it starts to make sense. And if you look at the law...
Let me jump in. What about the idea of teachers being armed specifically? Don't you think that is a measure in and of itself that potentially could see a great reduction in these tragedies, just that themselves? I'm not sure if it's smart to make it mandatory, but the idea that randomly teachers, regardless of gender, regardless of whether it's grade school, middle school, or secondary high school, or college campuses, randomly could be armed and proficient in that firearm, potentially could be a great deterrent to these tragedies. And when some mad person, male or female, attempts to commit such an atrocity, such an evil, we have a greater possibility of defending ourselves. Once again, your first line of defense is yourself. When seconds count, the police are minutes away. Your thoughts on this, Rachel? Teachers on the campuses giving absolute freedom and mandatory, and the government expressing it even through legislation.
Right. So as law enforcement has studied mass shootings, and particularly in schools, a conclusion they've come to is that what stops it and mitigates the harm is to get guns on scene as quickly as possible. And the guns on scene are not necessarily law enforcement, which again may be minutes away when the seconds count. That can very, very well be teachers. What Texans may not know is there are actually several different ways that teachers could be allowed to carry. So right now, by default, teachers, parents, civilians are not allowed to carry guns into schools. However, those who have a license to carry and who receive permission from their school board may carry, like according to state law, as state law exists. There are many school districts who have chosen to allow teachers to carry, whether they pick specific ones or just open the floor to those who would choose to do so. So there's already a means, there's already a mechanism for that to happen. And if there are any Texans who want to work on that without even going through any more legislative process to end gun-free zones, go to your local school board. Get them to drop the prohibition or to specifically allow carry in their school.
Right now, Rachel, is that happening? Are you seeing momentum because of this?
Yes.
Are there any particular school districts, communities, municipalities off the top of your head that you could point to that they're actively taking action because this is allowed, this is permitted?
Yes, so I don't have the number off the top of my head, and I'm not going to guess. I'll have to look that up and share with you another time. But yes, there's definitely been an increase that I'm hearing in the number of school districts that are allowing and encouraging some of their teachers to carry. I think the trend kind of started in remote communities where it's easier to say, oh my gosh, the police are 30 minutes away. You know, there's no way they can get here in time. But then you keep on applying that logic. You're like, yeah, we're here in the city. The police are 5 minutes away. Yeah, we still need our teachers to be able to carry.
Yeah, even when they're 5 minutes away. We saw in Maryland when it was 90 seconds and 4 or 5 people still were dead. Okay, now let's look into the future. In past legislative sessions, as recently as 2015 and 2017, attempts for constitutional carry, which is the will of the majority of Texans, as expressed in the Texas GOP platform, bills were filed and failed. Now, in the 2015 session, we did see the advancement of open license carry, but that's not what was asked for. What was asked for are wrong terminology, wrong phraseology. What they have been ordered to do, not ask for, what they have been ordered to do is to implement constitutional carry. Will there be another effort again this legislative session, and what's your prognostication for its success? Rachel Malone.
All right, will there be an effort for constitutional carry? You're asking the girl whose job is to make sure there's an effort for constitutional carry. So 100%, there will be an effort and it will be strong.
You doggone right. Rachel must keep her job. She's not going to say otherwise. You go, Rachel. You go.
Thank you. But it's not going to be just me. I mean, I'm not the lone voice calling for it. I may have been one of the first ones calling for it back in 2012, 2013, before it was popular. But you know what? It's gaining momentum. I believe over a quarter of the United States now have allowed constitutional carry in their states. In 2013, I think we had 4 states. So there's a trend, there's a movement going in the right direction. Texas has got to be the next one to step up and do it.
Rachel, thanks so much. I'm totally out of time. I really could converse with you a whole lot longer. So can I get a commitment for you to come back in the very near future? Maybe next week or the next week after that? I'd love that.
Yes, please. Let's set a time. Thank you.
As often as possible. And I think there's a whole lot more that you can contribute to the conversation and teach us a lot. And of course, encourage us, edify us, doing your role as chapter leader for Texas Gun Owners of America. It's great talking with you, Rachel. Thank you so much. I look forward to it, perhaps even next week.
All right, let's do it.
Rachel Malone, Gun Owners of America, Texas chapter leader up there in the ATX. You can find Rachel on Facebook if you want to message her and get more information about her work and how you can pony up as far as our Second Amendment rights. Okay, let's take a quick break, and then Daniel Miller is going to come in via Skype video. We're going to talk about the Texas nationalist movement today. Don't cut the stream. Will advertising on Raging Elephants Radio help your business?
Hello, my name is Galen Beatty of Beatty AC and Heating. I advertise on RagingElephantsRadio.com, and I'd urge you to do the same. Small and large business owners, if you want a really affordable way to get your name, products, and services to a large audience of consumers, I'd advertise on RER.
Ask about our double value package. You'll love it. Easy, affordable, effective. Email RER ads at RagingElephantsRadio.com. That's RER ads at RagingElephantsRadio.com.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate service.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below-market rates with above-market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy-efficient buildings, customer-friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down. See the share icon? Hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas Patriots. Give a testimony in 160 characters. Send. iOS device folks, do the equivalent through the App Store. Let's get it viral. RER app.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
And when it comes to Texas Talk, I'm trying to think of a more dynamic duo than Daniel Miller and yours truly. Daniel Miller is president of the Texas Nationalist Movement based out of... Hey man, why is your screen so small? Oh, I know why. I'll fix the Saints and Patriots. Hold on. I'm sort of a Rudy Poot at this. Give me a chance to fix this. Why in the world is it like that, Daniel?
I don't know. You've made me very tiny on the screen. It's frightening.
That's all right. I got you, bruh. It's better than nothing. All right. Daniel, what's going on, man? We're supposed to be the dynamic duo talking about Texas stuff.
Wait a minute. You say it's better than nothing. It's at this very moment that I am regretting working with you to get this video thing done. Because now, I have to do this and not wear a concert T-shirt while I do it. So, mixed blessing.
I'm doing the best that I can, man. I know it's tough.
It's okay. It's not a problem.
Everybody's not as brilliant as you, Daniel Miller.
I am not brilliant. I am just accidentally competent.
Hey, man, how's it going, man? It's good to see you, actually.
It's good. It's really good. It's going to be an interesting day when you got one of these sitting on your desk first thing out of the chute.
Oh, wow. My goodness.
Yeah. So it's going to be it's been great. We just launched this member-initiated campaign to raise money to send copies of Texit to every legislator and statewide elected official. And, the members, it was suggested by a couple of our members, Randy Council and Roger Evans. Randy was talking about it. He and I had a conversation about it at the convention. And then Roger Evans mentioned it at the and we had a long discussion about it at the Beaumont book signing, that they felt strongly that it was something that we needed to do. So we bounced it off the members. I guess it was night before last, and they were super stoked about it. So by the time the sun peeked over the horizon the next morning, we had a campaign launched because they wanted it, and so far so good. We're well over, just after almost a few hours in, we were well over 10% of our goal, and it looks like I'm hopeful that we'll hit it within a week to 2 weeks. So they felt strongly that these legislators need to have no plausible deniability about the ins and outs of Texas becoming an independent nation. So we're going to oblige.
How about that? Daniel Miller of the Texas Nationalist Movement. So Daniel, the funds being applied, the fundraising, primarily through, legislative, getting people, supporting them financially so it doesn't have to come out of their pocket, and getting them up to Austin in order to let these legislators know exactly what is. It's been fights year after year over this, about this. It's undeniable that the people of Texas would like to have this on the ballot, whether, well, now we know, as a binding referendum. Is that where you want to appropriate the funds to actually get people up there into the catacombs of the Pink Dome?
No, this initial fundraising campaign, as envisioned by the membership, was to basically provide every member of the legislature and every statewide elected official with a copy of the book Tax It. Okay. Now, in the initial discussions about this, when the first, when the initial two members were having the conversations, one of the things that they recognized right off the bat was that the information that they realized that people that were elected to public office on a state level should be forced to read this book. Okay, now there's no way to do that, but they believed strongly enough that the case was made, the information was there. Wow. Any sane and rational individual could be able to piece together what is necessary. The book even includes in the middle sample legislation for a referendum on the issue. So there was that acknowledgement, and then but further, what they envisioned was the impact not of a single constituent buying a book and giving it to their rep or to their senator, but a grand gesture where the members all and supporters all piled in the money to get copies for every single one of them, and then we delivered them all at one time, so that as we get ready to go into the next session, there is no plausible deniability. It's been part of the challenge that we've had in the past as we interact with these people. A lot of times it's behind closed doors. We give them our legislative packet. We talk them through the referendum language, and then they get called by a constituent afterwards, and they act like they're a newborn calf, right? They have no idea. They pretend like they have no idea. They've never read the legislation, et cetera, et cetera. And look, that's happened a lot, more than it should have, which I think speaks to the dishonesty of some of the people that we're dealing with. So what we want to do is obviously provide the content in a case that makes sense, but also in a way that they can't deny that they got it, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm looking right here at the feed on RagingElephantRadio.com's fan page, the video feed, Facebook Live, and Susan is saying TNM Day at the Capitol. That's what we're going for. TNM Day at the Capitol is what we're going for. And everybody else has a day at the Capitol, right? Even the motorcycle clubs have a day at the Capitol, right? And actually get standing ovations from the legislators when they fill the gallery. To capacity, not a seat to be had, and they're all in their leather. Why not have a TNM Day at the Capitol, Daniel Miller? Why not?
Well, let me tell you, the 2019 session is going to be a lot more interesting than the previous interactions. Look, we've done sort of the rally at the Capitol where we go out on the south steps, one time the north steps, and, you know, we all go out there and we wave our flags, but it's typically on the opening day. But, you know, one of the things that we've had to go through and educate a lot of our members who are not familiar with the legislative process and our supporters is that really nothing substantial happens on the opening day, right? I mean, they've got their things that they do as the legislature. They swear in, they do all those things, but the bulk of the legislative work, you know, takes place before those guys ever darken the doors of the Capitol. And then the hard work is 2 weeks after the opening day, when they're going into these, you know, they've got committee assignments, they're going into these committees, they're actually beginning the process of moving legislation down the path. So, you know, while it's sort of romantic to think about having an event or a rally on the opening day, it's not necessarily the most effective. So we're adopting a strategy in 2019 that accepts the reality of it.
I mean, it can be a T&M day at the Capitol, but it doesn't have to follow the previous model. And look, Daniel, that's what I want to talk about when we get back. What exactly a T&M day at the Capitol would look like, and this mass distribution under the pink dome of Texan. I mean, dude, that's brilliant. I don't know who came up with that, but that's absolutely, totally brilliant. You're right. They don't have any excuses. Let's talk about the execution of the plan. Daniel Miller is my guest president of the Texas Nationalist Movement. He's talking to me live via Skype video from the heart of the Golden Triangle, my home turf, Nederland, Texas. Well, I'm not from Nederland. I'm from Beaumont, but he's still my home dude. You know what I'm saying? He's my homeboy. Jefferson County. The TNM. And our TNM is in the house. Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio, the video stream. Susan's in there. Daphne's in there. Let's see. I don't know who else. I can't see the rest of the comments. I'm trying to work too many things here. But TNM is in the house. More conversation with Daniel Miller. Eugene Ralph is coming up next. Don't cut the stream, because if you're not listening, you're not learning. Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in Decatur. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hey, this is Barry the Music Man with the Doc Green Show, and one of their most beloved sponsors is BDAC and Heat. I'll tell you what, last summer when it was hotter than heck, my air conditioner went south for the winter. So I called BDAC and Heat. He came out the next day and put in a new, quiet, efficient system. My electric bill dropped 50%. So if you have an AC problem, you need to give Gang a call. So call Gang on BD at 281-222-9591 or bdacandheat.com. 281-222-9591. Start saving money and be cool today.
Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product. This is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing. No one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and a choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElephantRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElephantsRadio.com. info@RagingElephantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Information, communication, action. RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Yeah, Daphne's on there. She's talking smack. Yeah, Daniel is my homie. And yeah, Daphne, you're my home chick. I can start calling you home chick. You're a home chick. I call Delana Horn home chick because you're a home chick. Daphne's a home chick. I'm proud that Daphne's one of my home chicks. Golden Triangle women, they are awesome. They're gorgeous. They're smart. They know how to take care of their men. I mean, they got game. Daniel Miller is the president of the Texas Nationalist Movement. He's also a Raging Elephants Radio contributor. He comments on many things, not just the issue of self-determination and Texas independence. However, TheTNM.org is the preeminent advocacy organization on the planet for the fulfillment of Sam Houston's prophecy that Texas, in the very near future, please Lord Jesus, will be an independent republic again. How's your beautiful lady, Daniel? I have to ask because I don't want to get on her bad side.
She's great. She's great. We're having lunch with her folks today, so pretty excited about that.
All right. So the idea of TNM Day at the Pink Dome, which is how it has to be. You can't say at the Capitol. If you're going to gloss this thing, it has to be TNM Day at the Pink Dome. That's how you got to gloss this thing. Since, I mean, I don't know of anybody else that really got Pink Dome out there, that labeling like I'd have from the very beginning. I don't know. Everybody says Pink Dome now. Even Pink Domers say Pink Dome now. No joke. Yeah. Seriously.
Right.
If I have made any contribution to the Texas lexicon, it has been the two words Pink Dome. And other things like plutocracy. People weren't calling it a plutocracy before I came along, I don't think.
Look, it's true. Sorry, you caught me. I thought you were going to go on for a bit.
I was rambling. I'm the one that was rambling. My bad. I got caught up in my inner Trump was coming out. Sorry about that.
Look, you're not going to interrupt me. I'm woefully undercaffeinated, so I may take a sip in the middle of a sentence. Just be prepared.
Okay, but listen to this, Daniel. the idea of the old school TNM day at the Capitol, first day, opening session, the flags are waving. I've been there. I've given an edifying scripture and prayer before everybody stormed the Capitol. The first thing is you're standing in line for 30 minutes or more, trying to get everybody in there, trying to get through security. Whereas other organizations, after the fervor of the first couple of days died down, maybe week 2, week 3, even before they began the legislative process, because they can't do anything for the first 30 days. At that point, when some of the fever and fervor has died down of a new opening session, then, without very much fanfare, without a rally on the north steps or south steps, but just a filtration, get into the catacombs, get into the annex, get into the offices, and plop down a nice, fresh copy of Texit on their desk. That seems to be the MO to me. Is that the plan or too simple?
No, that really, I mean, here's the thing. Susie mentioned it Monday night during our members' video conference that she was, that's what she felt we needed to do, was something more in the style of a traditional day at the Capitol from an advocacy group, as opposed to these grand gestures of a gathering on the South Steps or whatever. And look, I'm in total agreement. I've said it time and time again, and have tried to tell folks this that have really tried to recapture the magic of the Tea Party rallies that happened in 2009. Remember when they had thousands of people out there?
Oh, yeah.
Texans are not, by and large, rally goers. You can look at it from the standpoint of almost every rally that's been held since 2009. Not just T&M, I mean pretty much any of them. Texans of our bent are not rally goers. That's not their deal. They would rather work in their communities or do whatever. But so you start taking those off the table and you start looking at, okay, what do traditional advocacy organizations do? And I think when we're talking about our strategy for 2019, that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm just so glad that Monday night Susie agreed to run point on making that happen. So I'm looking at working with her to get this thing done, sometime probably after the beginning of the session. But look, we're going to put those Texit books in the hands of those guys right around the time probably of the general election or thereafter, because early filing for bills starts, a week after the general election. So that really is a critical window for us, and really a critical window for anybody who wants legislation passed, is that period right after the general election when the early filing window opens. That's really your opportunity to get your legislation in the hopper. But even before that, the discussion has to happen. So if we look at what role we want the book to play in it, we need the book to knock some of these guys that are on the bubble off the bubble and get them into the camp. And I think at least from the member standpoint, what they're thinking is, and one of the reasons they wanted to do this, is that if this takes some of these guys that are leaning our way and gives them the courage necessary to feel comfortable in filing the legislation, then it's done its part. It's had its role.
And let's talk about the filing of that legislation, Daniel Miller, which will be an happy day for all of us here in the Lone Star State, regardless
champagne corks, man.
I mean, right. Just a simple filing of it. But here's the deal, though. I'd always thought that there would be one or two legislators the organization would potentially see as the carriers of the legislation. We think legislator X would be great. We think Senator this. We think State Representative she, he, fill in the blank would be great. Let's approach them. But sometimes we get endorsement from unlikely places or surprising places. I don't know. I think it was Landtroop trying to regain his state rep seat that openly said that he was in favor of a referendum dealing with Texas independence, meaning he saw it as a political plus. As you guys are working, pushing out Texas, pushing out, applying pressure to the Pink Domers, Are you going to target certain ones that you believe are going to be in favor, sympathetic, if you will, of the movement? Or are you going to let somebody scratch their head, sniff around the political atmosphere and say, it's politically expedient for me to take this up? Are you going to wait for that? How do you envision that happening?
Wow. You always have your targets. I mean, you know this. Anytime you work particular legislation, I mean, you've got legislators that you've interacted with, some more than others, some that have expressed direct interest, that are kind of on that bubble. They may have objections. But, the one thing that going back to HCR 77 that James White filed for us, you never know. I mean, you really don't. James was under a lot of pressure from his constituents, and he was probably the first one. I mean, I guess aside from Leo Berman was really the guy who was the first person to ever commit to filing the bill. And after Strauss's people came in and did the Tony Soprano routine, he backed out of that deal. But James White actually took our piece of legislation, not the one in the book, but sort of the earlier version that we had, to the Ledge Council, and the Ledge Council stripped out the referendum portion of it, and he wound up converting it to a resolution. But even with that, and even with the strength of the language, if you look at some of the names on HCR 77, one of the things that jumps out right off the bat is some of these folks that you would not expect would sign on to language that would be that harsh, that critical of the federal government. So, when we move forward, I think first and foremost, will be shocked at the legislators that jump on this issue. So once it's filed, I think they're going to be shocked. It's not going to be your standard cast of characters that we would think of in the liberty movement, probably. But even after that, once people sign on to this, it's not going to be the normal what we have seen as far as partisan politics on this issue. It's one of the things we've always said about this debate over Texas independence is that when it comes down to the issue of fundamentally re-examining our relationship within the federal government, you're not going to find a normal partisan divide. I mean, it is a transpartisan issue. So, that's why you see, obviously you have higher support among Republicans because more of the ideas and grievances line up. But, when you're looking at having the support of half of independent voters and even well over a third of Democrats, there are issues that this touches on that are in common among people that would be otherwise normally divided by political party or political ideology.
Well, I'm out of time, Daniel. I really wish at some point, man, that, I know it's a touchy subject, but when it comes to other countries, and how they throw their weight around in a geopolitical way, in an economic way, and I look at the economic strength of Texas and our potential, and I'm sitting here going, people, are losing their bodily waste over certain countries and certain developments on the geopolitical stage, and they're puny in regards to the potential economically and socially, culturally that Texas could be. And I'm like, it's got to be an issue that Texans simply don't know how powerful we are and how powerful we would be once we remove an unnecessary layer of government from Texans. And that would be the national government, or you like to call it the federal government. I don't think federalism exists. We've had that argument too many times. But I think when Texans realize the potential, hey guys, you remove this layer of an unnecessary government, do you truly believe in liberty? Do you truly believe in limited government? If you believe simply in just limited government, then why would you acquiesce to a layer of government that's unnecessary? When Texas, as it is right now, is powerful than most of these countries. Come on, the NOCOs have the GDP of Cleveland, Ohio, I think. Okay? I mean, so, and you look at Texas, or just look at the numbers, look at the potential, use your brain, just use your common sense. Like I say in the book, like I was quoted in the book, Texas, we all gonna be rich.
Claver, I've said time and time again that this movement is primarily, at its very core, about restoring the self-confidence of the people of Texas. We have got to believe in us again.
Only we can do it. The only way out is out. Thanks, Daniel. I love you, my brother. Raging Elephants Radio contributor Daniel Miller, who is the president of the Texas Nationalist Movement. He's been at this thing for about a quarter century. And I pray in the name of the Lord Jesus that we see all of this manifest before we take our last breath. Talk to you next week, my man.
See you, Claver. Thanks a lot.
Don't cut the stream. Raging Elephants Radio, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices, because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001, 713-467-2001, americasrepair.com, or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below-market rates with above-market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy-efficient buildings, customer-friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down, see the share icon, hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas patriots. Give a testimony in 160 characters. Send. iOS device folks, do the equivalent through the App Store. Let's get it viral. RER app.
You're enjoying Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElephantRadio.com.
I invite each and every one of you to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. H. Scott Apley. We're going to try it again. 8 p.m. tonight. H. Scott Apley, broadcast activist, new broadcast activist for RagingElephantRadio.com. He's been having some serious technical issues. Then he had some hiccups at his day job. We're going to try it again tonight, 8 p.m. Texas time. H. Scott Apley, an infusion of youthfulness to the Raging Elephants Radio broadcast activist family. Right now is Eugene Ralph, my ultra-conservative soul brother out of the Metroplex. Eugene, my man, what is up?
A little bit of everything, man. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to Rachel Malone in the first hour of the program of Gun Owners of America. Used to be with the RPT. Now she's the Texas chapter leader for Gun Owners of America. And she was speaking to the issue of the quote-unquote red flag laws that Governor Greg Abbott is pushing. She was rather measured, I do believe, in her criticisms of what's going on, something that you've never been accused of. And I played earlier in the first hour, Governor Abbott, some words that he has spoken previously, like at the beginning of 2014 or 2015 legislative session. We were all kind of scratching our head with his first emergency item, universal pre-K, and down in fourth place was border security. He didn't campaign on the first one, and in the fourth one he said it's the first and foremost responsibility of Texas government to protect the people, but yet it was the fourth emergency item. And now, after the tragedy in Santa Fe, he seems to be going in the opposite direction of the GOP base, and that is put into law the legislative priority of constitutional carry. Abbott continues to lurch to the left. I can only think of one issue, a very easy issue, the sanctuary cities issue, that he's to a degree offered some sense of satisfaction for those in the liberty movement. What do you think about all of this? Eugene Ralph, RER contributor.
You really want my honest opinion, right?
That's why you're an RER contributor, Eugene Ralph.
I've never been impressed with Governor Abbott. I wasn't impressed with him before he was governor, and I'm less impressed with him now. I think the guy is he's a shyster, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Basically, look, man, I've seen this play out before with other politicians in the past, and you know, I am what you would call a political cynic. So I look at not just what a person says, but also watch everything they do. Governor Abbott he's championed since he's been in office the things that go directly against everything that the people who elected him stand for. But for the things that we want the most, he's, for all practical purposes, he's missing in action. You know, every time, you know, he ran, he said something about toll roads. He's done very little, if anything at all, about toll roads. And basically let these people run amok. All of these people that he has control over as governor, because they're appointed positions that he can actually have some major influences. What happens with these auxiliaries? He does absolutely nothing and acts as if, oh, you know, I can't do anything. And then when it comes to, when it came to the bathroom issue, a couple years ago, Dan Patrick stepped out on that. Greg Abbott wasn't nowhere to be found. Matter of fact, when the time came for the special session, Dan Patrick pulled Greg Abbott into the fight. If you pay close attention to what took place, Greg Abbott was not joining that fight. He got credit for something that he really wasn't a part of. And then he gives these little bogus 19 things that he claims that he wants as his priorities, and let the people go fight it out in the House and in the Senate to get it passed, when he should have been taking the lead on that the entire legislative session. Greg Abbott is no novice to what goes on politically here in Texas. This thing here, this here is the straw to break the camel's back right here, because Greg Abbott has lived and died on this sword politically. When it comes to the Second Amendment, since he's been governor, even prior to being governor, he's talked about how strong he is as being a Texan, as being so pro Second Amendment. And you're going to compromise with the left, the people who are trying to take your rights away from you. Look, this man you can call him what you want. He's not stupid, okay? In my opinion, he's very manipulative, and he's working at trying to manipulate the base of this party. Because you see, this is the deal. He waits until after the primaries are over before he comes out with this crap. He comes out here talking all this stuff about, oh yeah, we got to do this, and at the same time he comes right back and say, oh yeah, well, I'm going to protect our Second Amendment rights. Not if you pass red flag laws. Red flag laws is basically the foot in the door for the left to get in here and start taking your guns away without due process. That's what this is all about. We're fighting this whole thing about civil asset forfeiture. It's all about people not having their property taken away from them without due process. And so he's saying that a constitutional right can be taken away without due process because of something that somebody reported on you. Look, this is all elements of socialism. This is how it goes. And Greg Abbott, regardless of what his reasoning is, I don't even care what his reasoning is. The idea that he thinks he can get away with is what's really bad. And I'm telling you, the people from Texas need to light up the phone lines in Austin and not give them people a moment's peace until he back down away from this crap. This is foolishness, man. I'm with the GOA. Okay, I'm with the GOA. To me, these guys don't accomplish a whole lot. They compromise entirely too much. The GOA don't play games. And for this woman, she pulling punches. You say she was probably not trying to slam him too hard because she knows what the alternative is as far as that office is concerned. I understand that, but at the same time, look, I asked the people of Texas, do you feel better when you get stabbed in the back by someone that you know is your opponent or the one that you expect is your friend? That's the bottom line. Or do you feel any better when your friend stabs you in the back? Because this is what you got here with Greg Abbott and this foolishness about this gun control. So I'm saying is all of the stuff Greg Abbott's compromised on, been missing in action on, this is equivalent to basically suddenly saying he's going to stand with the pro-abortionists or the pro-homosexual crowd.
No, wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. You just said
he's very close to it.
Hold on. When you said something there about the pro-abortionist, I mean, since you're on a roll about Greg Abbott and all of the egregious betrayals he's done on issues since he's been in office, we can go back to when he was in the AG's office. The issue of defunding Planned Parenthood. We can talk about Barack and saying Obama, keep your doctor, keep your plan, but there has been some lies been told out of the governor's mansion and under the Pink Dome about the defunding of Planned Parenthood. If you defunded Planned Parenthood, then how come you keep promising session after session or campaign trail after campaign trail to defund it? Because you lied to us. You lied to us about the defunding of Planned Parenthood. There you go.
That's my point. You know, see, some of this stuff you keep up with a little bit better than I do. This is the point I'm talking about. These guys and girls are lying through their teeth, and I'm flat out, I'm sick of it. And let me tell you something. You know, all of this stuff Greg Abbott is doing as far as trying to get people to support his campaign, look, let me tell you something. Everybody's not buying into it. There's a section, a cross-section of people that think he's got it, so they're not worried about it. And there's a lot of activists that are just not impressed with him. So they're working for other people. They're like, I'm Greg Abbott. You know, if he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's kind of the attitude they have. And you know what I'm hearing from the people who work for him? They're catching hell trying to get people to work for Greg Abbott campaign. They're working for these other candidates, and they're working for Greg Abbott kind of like along in the mix, okay?
They're having problems getting volunteers or people on the
Yes, they're having a problem getting volunteers to work for the Greg Abbott campaign.
Wow.
I'm talking about for the people who know what's going on. I'm not talking about the average rank and file Republican. Yeah, they're gonna get any Republican bandwagon they're gonna be on. I understand that. I'm talking about the people who are paying attention to what's going on. You got two things happening here. You got a section of people that they're just not that connected, and then they're not really worried about, oh, yeah, he's going to win. That's their attitude. We got to get those people to oppose the vote. The rest of the people I'm talking about, the people like myself or anywhere close to me, they're like, man, I'm going to work for somebody else. I ain't worried about Greg Abbott. I don't really want to have anything to do with that guy. And let me tell you something. For a while, I just thought it was me. And so I started hearing from some of the people that have not worked for him currently, but the ones who worked for him previously, who've moved on to other campaigns. And they didn't tell me that, openly. I mean, that was kind of a reluctant admittance. My point is, it confirmed what I thought. What I'm saying is that this guy, I don't know how widespread that is. All I know is it's happening. And my point is, it's happening for a reason. People are not stupid, man. You can only pull the wool over their eyes for so long, and then they had enough of it. And that's what's happening. And Greg Abbott and all the rest of them better wake up and smell the coffee, and they better do it quick. Because we got a lot at risk here. This foolishness she's playing on there, look, you got the National Association of Gun Rights of Texas. I get emails from them 2 or 3 times a day talking about the foolishness that Greg Abbott is doing. I'm constantly pushing this stuff out to make people aware of what's taking place so they can be on his butt. Constantly. Don't give him a moment's rest. If he can't get out that little stupid inner circle of people that he got telling him all the stuff he wants to hear, he needs to get out. He needs to hear it from somebody. I'll tell you what, shut down those phone lines that down there in Austin. You shut down those phone lines and an army of people show up whenever they have their hearing next week and let them know in no uncertain terms. All you anti-gunners, get the hell out of here. We ain't tolerating you or your foolishness here in Texas. That has to be understood in no uncertain terms. That's what needs to happen, man. I'm sick of this foolishness.
And the danger is, Eugene, well, it's not even a danger. It's pretty much almost a certainty that we've got 2 more legislative sessions with this guy. My argument, essentially, with the electorate, the citizenry here in Texas on the issue of Greg Abbott, is that why hasn't he been challenged at the ballot box? He is yet to have been challenged at the ballot box. I mean, seriously challenged in the GOP primary.
Okay,
In his entire tenure as the Attorney General of Texas, he never had a primary opponent. In 2014, his primary opposition were wackadoos with no money and no name ID. The same situation in 2018. We have to find someone out of the Liberty Movement, maybe someone a promotion out of the Senate or out of the House that people can get behind financially, who has some name ID. At some point, he's going to have to be forced to campaign. He's going to have to be forced to answer to these things: universal pre-K, Article 5 convention, missing in action on the bathroom bill, a tepid emergency item in the session when it comes to election integrity. Absolute abdication of duty to the point of treason, since that word's been thrown around here lately, on border security, which he campaigned on. It's a straight-out invasion, and nobody in Austin is doing anything about it, and it starts in the governor's mansion. At some point, it becomes our responsibility, Eugene, in the Liberty
Movement. It really is. I totally agree.
To find somebody to beat him or run him out of office electorally. Eugene.
I totally agree. I'm right there with you, man. You heard, I think I said it last time I was on. The time to start campaigning against Greg Abbott for 2022 is now. The time to start the campaign is now. To start the organization, find out who the candidate is going to be, start raising money so you can have that $20 million plus that you need to run an effective campaign. He might have $40 million, but he's worthless. You can take him out of office with the right amount of money. You need a right amount of money. You need a minimum, I believe, of $10, $15 million to run an effective campaign in Texas. But if it's grassroots, he can do it. Because let me tell you something. You can expose him for the fraud that he is. Because that guy is a big old fraud, man. I'm telling you, it is utter to the point of disgust. You know, I don't know, honestly, I do not know who the biggest players of the people of Texas out of Rick Perry and Greg Abbott. These guys are running a close, tight race. You know, say what you want about Rick Perry. He pulled the wool over the people's eyes for a long time on a lot of stuff. But there's certain things you can sort of count on that he was not going to go in that direction. He was not going to go against the Second Amendment, and he was always going to remain pro-life. Those two things you could count on with Rick Perry. With Greg Abbott, man, I don't know what you can count on with this guy. And I never thought I'd be saying that.
Seriously, I was about to say. I mean,
I'll tell you, I never thought I'd be saying that there was something I like more about Rick Perry than about Greg Abbott. And that's a sad commentary for Greg Abbott. You know, I honestly thought, in spite of my reservations about him when he ran, I honestly thought he was going to be better than Rick Perry. I did. I really did. How much, I did not know. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I watched, I waited, you know, I tried to cover for him. Got to the point where, like, man, look, this dude is a fraud. Straight up.
I'm telling you, Eugene, and we've got to find somebody to go against him. That's
you have to go against him hard.
That's how you drain the swamp.
That's right.
That's how you dismantle and crush, pulverize the Texas plutocracy. It has to be done at the ballot box. And I think the Liberty Movement is growing in strength. We're growing in maturity. We are seeing an experience of maturation. Patience, they say, is a virtue, but I think we need to be pressing the issue even.
I think that virtue has been exploited.
You got that right, and the type of voice that you're providing is absolutely invaluable. Eugene Ralph is a Raging Elephants Radio contributor. He heads up an organization called Game Changers. The website is gamechangers.org, and you spell change, CHAIN.
GERS.
Yep, Game Changers. And their motto is, Eugene Ralph.
We're working to break the mental chains of progressivism with information, education, and activation.
That's Eugene
Check
Ralph.
us out.
Yeah, check them out. Eugene Ralph of GameChangers.org. Get on the email list. He is an RER contributor, and we'll be talking with him again on next week. Love you, my brother.
All right, my brother. Take care.
That's it, Saints and Patriots. Thank you for joining me on the Raging Elephants Radio app. Find it in your App Store and Google Play. Just search Raging Elephants Radio or Texas Politics. Everybody knows the logo. Download the RER app. We've got some surprises coming up for you through the app. Thanks for listening through RagingElephantsRadio.com or through TuneIn. Watching the video stream, Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio or on YouTube, RER Video Channel. Thanks a lot, Saints and Patriots. Tomorrow's a program. Oh, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome call me the Purifier, and I like it. From Houston, back-to-back H-bombs last night, all-star game. May the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the future independent sovereign republic of Texas.